Zenith Bank, one of Nigeria's biggest commercial lenders, last week reported a 47% growth in net profit for the third quarter of this year. Now, analysts say although the numbers came in perhaps better than expected, the stricter financial regulatory environment may continue to put future earnings of Nigeria's lenders under pressure. For more on earnings and what to expect going forward, I'm now being joined in the studio by Peter Amangbo. He's Executive Director at Zenith Bank. Thank you so much, sir, for Peter Amangbo for being with us. Now, let's start with your numbers. Well, there are actually different views. I was talking to a couple of financial analysts looking at your numbers, and most of them described it as modest. 11% growth in gross earnings, 47% growth in PAT. But let me ask you, were you nervous about how the market was going to receive the numbers?
Well, I'll say we were not nervous, and we know we've worked extremely very hard at Zenith, and I'll say it's actually in line with our expectation in spite of all the challenges we had in the quarter.
Okay, so going forward for the next quarter, are we going to see similar numbers, or can the market be expecting more? Even though the pressures from the CRR that everybody keeps talking about, still remains?
Well, the pressure is always there, but our focus really, beyond the numbers, our focus had always been to serve our customers, to gain their confidence, to gain their support, to gain their loyalty. And once you have that, the numbers will fall in place. That is always our focus in Zenith Bank.
Now, we've talked a lot about, the CRR, the change in regulatory environment, the new changes in the regulatory environment, the fact that banks have to, both Tier 1 and Tier 2, have to go back to the drawing table and perhaps come up with more creative ways in which they would, keep the customers happy on one hand and then, boost the balance sheets without having to rely on government deposits. Now, are you going to be, and one area that has been identified is the retail market. Now, we've seen a lot of positioning. Is Zenith Bank going to be very aggressive in that field, or do you feel comfortable there right now?
I'll say in Zenith Bank, we've even started even before the CBN introduced the policies on CRR. We've been more aggressive in the retail sector, and we've achieved a commendable growth in that respect. So when CBN came up with the policy, it didn't actually affect us that much.
So you will not change your strategy, even though you know that more banks are actually perhaps re-strategize in terms of market share and what will go to who?
No, we've been very, very consistent. With or without the CBN policies, we are very, very clear as to where we are headed. And that's why you are seeing those improvements in the numbers.
Okay, and I know that lending to big corporates, especially for Tier 1 banks, has always been a major focus and perhaps will continue to be a major focus. Will you be reevaluating your strategies, or, like you said, perhaps it's something you've been doing before the CBN, a new regulatory pronouncement? So will you be reevaluating, or you feel comfortable where you are right now?
No, we are very comfortable with the corporates, but as I said earlier, we are still looking at improving in our growth trajectory for the retail sector.
Can you give us an insight into areas you will be looking into? Let's have specifics.
You see, there are quite a lot. You see, when you talk about the retail, we've always been in retail. We have over 400 branches. Who are they really serving? More of the retail. We are focusing on other alternative source of payment, electronic payments, ATMs, quite a lot. So you can see that we've put a lot in place to service the retail sector, and we believe that we'll have a reasonable growth by the end of the year.
Okay, bring us up to speed on your international strategy. Anything new on that front so that we can look forward to from Zenith Bank?
No, for now, we are very comfortable where we are. We have our Zenith Bank UK. They are doing exceedingly very well. Zenith Bank in Ghana, we are doing well. Zenith Bank in Gambia and Zenith Bank in Sierra Leone, we are doing quite well. Our focus is to consolidate on what we've achieved so far in this region, and we'll continue to leverage on that and see how we can improve their performance.
So in terms of expansion plans, nothing major going on?
None immediately. None immediately.
When you say immediately, are we looking none in the next quarter and the next 2 quarters, or when can we begin to look forward to an expansion plan?
See, I would actually say, we always keep our eyes open for opportunities across the world, not just in Africa itself. And I'll tell you, we have a rep office in China now, and I'll tell you that we are actually looking at quite a lot of options, but it's probably still early in the day to start to tell you we are going to A or we are going to B. Let's take it that for now, we are very comfortable where we are, but our eyes are wide open as to where we want to be, and in due course, at the appropriate time, we'll reveal that.
Can we have like specifics in terms of numbers for the next quarter? What kind of numbers would we?
Well, I mean, we already have a projection, and we should not really be talking of numbers as it is now. But if you look at what had happened in 9 months, I don't think 3 months will be an exception. We expect that we will do well and we will close well, and we'll compensate and reward our customers, we'll reward our shareholders for their support in investing in the bank.